Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
Beach FM, and I'd like to make very welcome now from the Greater Wellington Regional Council, our Kapiti representative, Penny Gaylor. Good morning and welcome to you, Penny.
Good morning, thank you very much. I hope everybody is doing well in their bubble.
Indeed.
I'm certainly having the young chaps who are in my household who are home from school at the moment. I'm homeschooling. I've never done homeschooling before. It's quite an interesting juggle, though, because they have all this, they've got their devices, their technology, their Chromebooks that they're essentially running through their day and all their schoolwork, and they have the young ones have what they call the Hangouts. So the teacher, a couple of times a week for each subject, will have it so that all the students in their class will kind of chime into their device, and then they can have little chit-chats, which is really nice because, of course, all the young ones will be missing seeing their mates. So it's just nice. They can, most of the week, they're independently working on their Chromebook, doing their subject, but here's a lovely opportunity for them in their week to actually see one another's faces, hear their voices, have a little bit of a chit-chat about, what are you doing in your bubble? So, we just thought I'd share that's interesting stuff that's going on. And then in between all that, they're cooking up a storm like the rest of the nation. So pikelets again, yesterday for lunchtime, we made muffins, cupcakes, beautifully frosted the day before. Goodness me. Can't wait to get out and about and tearing around so I can work some of this.
Well, it's a new golden age of cooking, isn't it? In fact, we're going to have a little cooking spot on the program tomorrow because it seems to be the thing at the moment. However, I must say, Penny, it's remarkable how busy we are. I know that you're busy because I've been chasing you most of the day, and I've been as busy as all get out. So we may be at home, but we certainly are not idling, are we?
Oh, we're not, and I'm doing various Zoom meetings and phone calls, and it's working pretty well. I had to have a session with an IT person from our organisation a couple of days ago because, gosh, I had all these pieces of equipment and a few things had unravelled. So you have to have Zoom, one device to do your Zoom meeting on, which is my face appearing so I can see everybody else in the meeting and they can see me. But, of course, then you need to have your agenda paper or your discussion document that you're reading, that you've read, that you're then talking to or that someone's presenting on. So, you need another device. So I had to get all my equipment kind of working to the right, and everything's top secret, squirrels and stuff like that. So you've got to have codes for this and usernames and, a few things that unravelled. But we're back all patched up. So that's good. But look, I'm just thinking the funny thing too I was talking about the baking. So I brought out my Edmund's cookbook, which the boys have never taken any notice of. Yes. And it's lovely because like everybody's Edmund's cookbook, there's a lot of sticky finger marks on the pages, particularly those pikelet and scone and ginger gem pages, and mine's just like that. And so my boys were just going, how old is this book? I was trying to figure it out. I said, I think it's about 30 years old. So I thought, there'll be lots of tasty concoctions of those sticky finger marks on those pages.
Oh, well, that's how you make the good recipes, isn't it?
Yes. So now the boys are up to speed with. They can actually get to the cooking point of they're making all the batter and making the cupcake mix and all that sort of thing independently. So it's great. I'm sitting there and just going, yep, go for it, and then call me in when we want to start, cooking up and turning, because they just haven't mastered the turning. And I've got a bit of vested interest. As much as anybody, I don't like a burnt pikelet.
Indeed. And, of course, what we're doing here is training them to be self-sufficient citizens in the future so that they'll be able to make a pikelet and therefore won't starve. So that's very important. Now, perhaps we should get on to business, Penny. I believe you've got some hot off-the-press information about public transport, the bus and the train timetables.
Yes, so on the back of the Prime Minister's announcement around moving from level 4 and the transition through to level 3, and so then subsequently our Metlink services are kind of reviewed what does level 3 mean. So we kind of had to go, okay, what's the timing of that, then who's going to be on. or who's going to be needing the public transport services as we shift from level 4 to level 3. So as government has announced, and we've been reinforcing, that transport will remain free until the end of June. That doesn't change.
Good.
What it does mean for the bus and train timetables is that we will be going back to the normal timetables very soon. But of course, it will still be for those people who are only allowed to travel under level 3, which is, the essential service workers, people going to the medical appointments, people who are returning to workplaces, because now that's sort of expanded, hasn't it? But it's still only those people. And so to accommodate for ensuring that those people are able to get to their workplaces, and those businesses or those early learning centres and with schools opening, so that we're actually going back to the regular bus timetable starting from Sunday, the 26th of April. So that's this coming Sunday.
Yeah.
That's for buses. For the trains, the full regular timetable for the trains will resume on Monday, the 4th of May. So that's a week beyond.
Okay.
So then one of the other things I also want to say is that Metlink is putting out in this, as you say, hot off the press kind of media release, is that as we go back to these full timetables, that for people using the Metlink service, that they are encouraging people on the bus network to use their Snapper card, not because we'll be charging it, but because it's actually really helpful for us to see how our bus network is being used and how the bus network is performing in this period. And so if we just encourage people to think about that's not about tracking you, it's not about charging you, but it is really important information, because we want to make sure, things are in a different space right now, but we want to see if we are providing the service that is meeting the needs of the people who are using it. So that's just a shout out for that one, thanks.
Indeed. Now, look, I would have thought that this is really important, because this is a way of counting the customers. And I think we're coming on to something that I raised with you a few weeks ago when we were getting into the lockdown. In fact, we hadn't heard the term lockdown at the time. And I was worried about social distancing on public transport. So obviously there's going to be more people using public transport, and that's one aspect. The other aspect is we're asking people to keep their distance. So obviously it's a capacity problem as well. So you need to know the numbers in order to provide the capacity.
And checking that we're all doing fine with it. Exactly. So, the bus passengers will be able to tag on and tag off at the back of the bus as part of the range of these physical distancing and safety measures that we've put in place. Those will all continue, and that's about protecting the bus drivers as well as the passengers. So all those precautions that we've had in place for the last few weeks will continue. So you will, those top-notch health precautions and safety measures will continue. That's for the passengers' safety, and it's also for our drivers' safety.
Excellent. So just to recap on that, buses resume their normal timetable from this coming Sunday, and trains...
Sunday the 26th.
Yes, and trains on Monday week.
Yes, Monday the 4th of May.
Okay.
Frightening to think we'll be in May, or very, very soon.
Indeed. Well, lovely talking to you, Penny. Thank you very much for sparing us some time on what's turned out to be a frantic day, but we will do it again sometime. Thank you so much for your company.
Great, thank you.
106.3 Beach FM.